Hey, hey, hey. The men's call tonight. Yeah. And I invited a few of my rowdy friends to join us tonight in celebration. So at our campus here. So I'm loving that. I hope you've had a great month. And I hope you're planning on the next 30 days of your life being the greatest days of your life. And we're going to have some fun tonight. I want to talk to you tonight about being an example. Being an example. It is so critically important. By the way, being an example is not the main thing. It is everything. And so in your life right now, as you're learning and as you're growing, the moment that you move things from just being something that is a thought in your mind to where it becomes a behavior that people can see and read, it changes everything. Children are not very good at listening to their parents, but boy, are they ever great at duplicating what their parents are. And so it's more caught than it is taught. Good leaders must lead by example. Whether you're in business, whether you're leading your home, wherever you go, wherever you are an example. You don't get a day off, you don't get a minute off, you don't get a second off. You are continually living your example. Good leaders lead by example, by walking the talk that they speak of. You become the kind of person at this point that other people want to be around, and if you're a leader, they want to follow. And by the way, you may not think you're a leader. You may have never been told you're a leader. You may have never seen yourself as a leader, but you are a leader. And leaders lead by example. Who you are is more important than what you do, because who you are drives what you do. So in your life right now, I just want to talk to you about being an example. When leaders say one thing and do something else, it erodes trust. This is a big word for you right now because you begin to lose moral authority. Moral authority is a fancy word for trust. It means that I can trust you, I can believe you. And almost all of us that are tuning in tonight, being a part of this call, all of us are wondering, who can I trust? Who should I trust? You want to know, can I trust my air conditioning guy? Can I trust the guy that works on my car? Can I trust people in my life? A lot of you that are married are wondering, can I trust my spouse with my feelings? Can I be vulnerable enough? See, I have a personal belief that every leader, every warrior, every soldier, everybody that's in battle, and we all are, needs a safe place where you can come and take your armor off. Yeah. Where you can disrobe out of all your protective gear and you can just become vulnerable. Matter of fact, I will tell you in your example, as you're leading in your companies, as you're leading in your businesses, as you're leading in your churches, the number one thing people want from you is authenticity. Yeah. Yeah. People would rather you be real than be right. And if you'll be real, it will help you have influence in people's lives. Wow. I got a lot of great relationships in my life, but can I tell you, every day of my life, people are still wondering, can I trust you? Can I trust you? They're asking you, can they trust you? So the critical element of productive leadership, I want to talk to you about some things in your life that you can apply right now that will help your example be more potent. You'll have greater influence. You'll have greater impact. I don't think there's anything more demeaning in life than walking into a room or going someplace and not having any effect on the environment. I think you want to be seen, but I think you need to give people a reason to be seen. And whoever said it, I agree with them, that we're all born with the right to speak. We've got to earn the right to be heard. So in your life, it just doesn't mean education or titles. I have so many people that get educated, they get doctorates, they get so many degrees that honestly it's like ridiculous. And then they call me and they're upset because people won't follow them. And I just want to tell you, people do not follow titles. They follow courage. Courage. So in your example, leading by your words, sometimes if you're not careful, if you don't get your words matching who you are, you look like a performer, not a person. And once people think that what you're saying is a performance, and it's not you being a real authentic person, then they shut down. So in your life, you've got to be careful that even everything you're doing is not just to be seen, but it's actually to make a difference. See, if you speak just to have yourself elevated, you're going to be empty. But if you speak to change a life, to equip somebody to go to a whole nother level, it changes everything. So, what can I do? I'm glad you asked. Let's get started. By the way, I'm so fired up to see all of you tonight from everywhere. Gosh, it just does my heart good. And I hope you continually do not watch alone. I hope you'll invite men to be on the call. I hope you'll invite their sons to be on the call. It touches my heart to see this. My friend Thomas Nilsson I saw on here with his son's face in the camera. It touched my heart. Thank you, Thomas, for leading by example. Number one, in order to have your example have more impact, be a part of the team. The difference between leaders and bosses is bosses say get going and leaders say let's get going. We don't ask other people to do what we think we're too good to do. Yeah. So in your life right now, being a leader will it means I'm not just going to go walk around and give orders to people. It means I'm going to cast vision. I'm going to say this is what we need to accomplish. And by example, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to help them with the task that is going on in their lives. There's nothing like somebody giving the example to walk alongside you. A lot of times, leaders, can I tell you, even with our children at home, let's take them both places, at work and at home, you think because you tell people what to do, they know what to do. I can know what I'm supposed to do and still not know how to do it. Yeah. They need an example, not talking down to them, but saying, come on, let's go get this done together. So, can I tell you, sometimes the task can be very difficult, and employees won't be as motivated as they should be, but if you come and walk beside them, work beside them, watch the motivation go up in their lives. And don't expect people to do what you say. Expect them to do what you model and what you check on. How are you doing? How did that feel for you? Did you feel confident? These are just some questions I would ask you to ask people that are working with you and working beside you. The second thing is look at failure as a step forward to success. In your example, how do you deal with failure? Do you go off? Do you throw things? Do you get upset? Do you have a bad day? Do you walk around with your head drooped down? Or is in your example, when it didn't work the way it was supposed to work, do you look at them and go, hey, we're learning. We're getting better. And I can tell you this, sometimes you learn, and sometimes you struggle, and sometimes you win. But in your life right now, you've got to ask, what is my mindset? What is my attitude? This was so important to me that I wrote a book about it called Boom. And it's actually on the science of enthusiasm. In your example right now, how much energy do you have? How much fire, how much passion, how much joy is in your heart right now? You say, Tim, why is that so important? Because your attitude and your life produces an atmosphere everywhere you go. So, as you look at this, what is your mindset towards setbacks and failure? Do you beat up people? Do you blame people? Do you persecute people? Or do you walk in and go, hey, we all make mistakes, and all success is built on failure. We're going to learn from this. Now, if you keep repeating the same mistakes, that may mean I may need to take an adjustment on what I know and the knowledge that I have. So failure can be something that can be very positive. Did you know that? It can teach you so much that success can't teach you. Failure and not learning from it, though, will destroy you. And so in your life right now, you just got to say, you know what? Failure is a part of success. Now, can I tell you something? I can hear you talking to me right now. And you're going, Tim, I know that. And I know you know that. But you need to be reminded. Because you don't understand as a leader, your example in the home, your example at work, your example wherever you go, has a great impact on the team and on the success of the mission. So, when you're working as a leader, you have to learn how to face failure, even when people around you are failing, but sometimes when you fail the people. Are you willing to admit it? Are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to say, I'm not performing at my highest level? And are you willing to, by example, show people I'm teachable? I can learn. Can you say it's my fault? Can you take responsibility? The third thing is there can be no place for dishonesty. I can tell you, no one's ever said, I want you to meet this guy or gal because they're one of the greatest liars I've ever met in my life. No girl, I don't think, ever went home and said, Dad, I can't wait for you to meet my date because he is just the biggest dishonest liar that you could ever imagine. And I don't think any dad would be happy with that. So lies in an organization. Lies in an organization, small or even exaggerations. Like give me one. Let's talk about one, okay? And here it is. When we make people think it's going to be easier than what it really is. Jesus said, why do you want to follow me? Why? Birds have nests. These guys got holes they can crawl into. I got no place to lay my head, but follow me. Really? It sounds like you're trying to talk me out of it. No, I'm trying to prepare you so that when you get out there, you don't feel like I lied to you and told you it was going to be easier than what it was. Yeah. If anybody ever tells you marriage is easy, they smoked and inhaled. Because anytime you get two people together, how many of you know they're going to disagree? For goodness sake, most of you all don't even agree with yourself. When you talk to yourself, you get in arguments with yourself. I should eat that, I shouldn't eat that. I should go there, I shouldn't go. I should exercise, I shouldn't exercise. You spend a lot of energy fighting yourself, disagreeing with yourself. And I just want to encourage you, there's no place for lies. Especially when you lie to yourself. I just want to pause. Because it's so easy, as smart as you are, to manipulate yourself. And once you start manipulating yourself, you will destroy everything in your life that matters to you. And it will take you way longer than it should. So, can I tell you? Be real with information. Be real with information. We just launched our second service at G5 and it's been incredible. But we were really transparent with people saying, You're going to have to get up earlier. You're not going to get as much sleep. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be tired. We like really tried to depress them. But then we said, but it's going to be worth it. So guess what? We had to get up earlier. We didn't get to eat. It wasn't as simple as we thought. But the reward was way greater than what we put into it. As a leader, just don't lie about information. The other thing is don't lie about deadlines. Oh, we can do this way faster. No, it's probably going to take longer, and it's probably going to cost more than you ever thought imagined. And also about communication. Be open. Be transparent. Be real. Be authentic if you want to have a great example. The team's process and progress has to be by you setting an example that they can follow and that they can duplicate, and then they can own it, and then they can start duplicating it. You have got to drive the vision from me to we into your organization by living the example. That means you're not too good to do whatever you need to do in order to make the mission successful. Be willing to do it and watch what happens to you. The next one is when we don't play by the rules. That means I don't have to play by the rules. I can break the rules. It means I don't have to honor boundaries. It means I'm better than everybody else. I know we're not supposed to do that, but I can get away with it. Leaders, I'm just telling you, this is so detrimental to your organization. When you think you're better and above the rules, above integrity, above honor, I promise you, you're going to destroy the morale in your organization. And you will destroy the morale in your family. I know you can be hard on people, but you better be really hard on yourself first. You better hold yourself to a standard. So, as you begin to look at your life, when leaders make rules for people that they're leading and they don't follow them themselves, it puts a great negative effect into the organization. And you begin to lose energy, and you begin to lose buy-in, and you begin to lose your influence and your example. When you and I follow the rules. By the way, every counselor will tell you in marriage that if one person comes and says, I don't have to live by the rules, I can do whatever I want, there's no accountability, there's no responsibility, the relationship cannot go forward. No matter what you try to do, no matter how hard you pray, no matter how much you read, no matter how much you praise, I just got to tell you right now, there has to be this thing that says there's fairness. Right. And we're going to live by these. So when you don't live what you're asking other people to live, people feel very disrespected. Now, I'm equipping you tonight. I'm giving you a lot. And I hope you can take notes on this and get it down, and I know you can rewatch it. Because what I am saying is so critical. And in organizations, John Gordon wrote a book called Soup. And what he talks about in the highest performing companies in the world, the intangibles, the things you can't look, and it's not on a spreadsheet, you can't document it, but it's feelings, it's heart, it's passion, it's burden, it's desire, it's honor, it's respect, it's pride. These are the intangibles. Those are the things that make all the difference in the world. And that's what I'm coming after right now with your example. You create the value. We get to create the value by living exactly what we say we believe. It's very important. Number 5 is create and maintain standards. I'm not trying to be negative here, but I want to tell you right now, the day you're in trouble is when somebody else has to set your standards for you. The day you're in trouble is when you do work and it's sloppy and somebody has to come behind you and redo it. My mom, when I was growing up, used to tell me, son, if it's worth doing well and doing right, then I just encourage you to do it right the first time so you don't have to come back through. So how many of you know we think we're getting away with shoddy work, with not setting a standard? And I just want to tell you, it's costing you more than you could ever imagine. I used to love eating at this one particular chicken place. It was incredible. The service was incredible. It was amazing. And then all of a sudden it started going downhill. The attention to detail. The excellence left the room. The floors got sticky. You would walk in and they would used to wait on you immediately, and now it took 10 minutes for somebody to come out and go, glad you're here. So you do that, and then you go to Chick-fil-A, where they immediately take your order, and everything is my pleasure, and they're refilling. People are coming around. They're playing with your children. Hey, can I get a toy for them? Which one are you going to go back to? So I just want to encourage you, you have to create, set them, and here's the hardest part, maintaining it. Because you and I have something in us that we start here, and after a while we just start letting down our standard. We cut a corner here, we cut a corner there. And this is extremely, extremely, extremely devastating in relationships. When you're dating, you pay attention. When you're dating, you do the small things. And after you're with someone for a while, you stop paying attention. You stop listening. Especially when they start growing and start changing. And you don't pay attention where they changed. Right now, I just want to encourage you, create the standard, but maintain it. We have a sign at church and it says this, we're passionate about life with a spirit of excellence. The easy part is the passion. The excellence part is honestly maintaining the excellence that we're going to live at. We let things go. And so I just ask you in your life right now, where are you letting your standards drop? Where are you not maintaining what you one time loved to do and you did it with great passion? You see people do it with their bodies. You see people do it with their relationships. You see people do it with their money. You see people do it with their time. So I just want to encourage you to find out what quality you want to have and then give it more. Now, in my life, I used to do about 80 coliseums a year. 25 to 50,000, sometimes 75,000 people. And I would watch us sometimes be in these coliseums, and then the next day or day after, I would be in a small church where there would be 25 people. The trick in life, the goal in life, is to give as much or more to the 25 as you did to the Coliseum. But most of us, we start letting things drop. I want to come after an enemy in your life right now, and it's the enemy of comfort. Do not keep running to the comfort zone. Run to the mission zone where you can make a difference in people's lives. You will be amazed how people around you will respond to your spirit of excellence. My wife and I were just blessed. I'm going to take a sip of water, so hey, here you go. We were just blessed to be in Italy, and when we got home, when I go to the property, we were blessed with this 62 acres, and it's beautiful. And it's not like glitzy, but it's beautiful, and we worked hard for it. And I don't think the desire to maintain to maintain something, to get to something, is not worth anything if you don't have the desire to maintenance it. And so I just remember walking in on a Sunday morning, and I was just looking around to see, and our team is incredible. But I can just tell you, I have an eye for excellence. And so I'm just looking to see, is all the paper up? Are the leaves away? Is the dirt gone? Because it's so critically important. In your life right now, do you have that eye? Not where you're critical of people, but where you hold a standard that people can go, that's the excellence that we're going to stay at. When leaders follow the standards, when you follow in your own life the bar you set, everyone around you has the most incredible desire to maintain that same level. So just stay with them and watch people around you. Number 6, value your team. Everyone I'm talking to tonight wants to be valuable. And almost everybody I'm talking to right now, in some way, you don't feel valued. Something happened today where you didn't feel valued. You didn't feel loved. You didn't feel noticed. You didn't feel cared for. You had an expectation, and they didn't live up to the expectation. So in your life right now, your team members and the people that are around you, and a lot of people say they're lower people, like people that work for you. I don't agree with that. I agree with this statement, that we are all one, and we're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. We are all one. And so leaders, I got to tell you, when you begin to value people, you will find out people will produce more, they will give more, they will serve more, they will stay longer when they're appreciated. Do you know how many talented people I coach that leave environments, not because they don't love what they do, but it's because their boss does not value them. Their manager does not appreciate them. Wow. There is a desire in you to want to be appreciated. And I just want to say to you men, your wives, when they cook that meal, they want to know you appreciate it. If they wash your underwear, they want to make sure that you appreciate it. We all want to be appreciated. And so men, there are a lot of men I'm talking to right now that you don't feel appreciated. You don't even feel noticed. And I want to encourage you right now to do the right thing, even if you're in an environment that the right thing is not going on. Do not let somebody else's behavior determine your behavior. You set the standard and you appreciate even if you're not being appreciated. So how do you know if somebody's being valued? You ask people questions. How are you? How's your family? Tonight, I want you to pray with me. We have a friend that works in our multimedia and shoots camera, and his mother is being tested right now for liver cancer. And I have, without a doubt, I'm not bragging on myself, as busy as we are, I've texted and said, how are you? I'm praying for you. I just want him to be able to say these words to me. Arthur Edward, I love you. Listen, somebody cares. Somebody cares. You say, Tim, why do you get so emotional? Because I know right now a lot of you are going, does anybody care? And I just want him to be able to say to me, yeah, I feel a little anxious right now. I feel a little bit nervous. And I want to tell you, when you're there for people, when they hurt, they never forget it. And so you're not doing it because you want to be seen. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Ask them questions and understand their challenges. Understand the problems they're dealing with. And then encouraging them. Encourage them with everything that's inside of you. Give encouragement to them. The best part is when they feel valued. It will motivate them to even be better and better. Number 7, plan before you take actions. I know sometimes we're in a spontaneous world, but you got to plan your work and work your plan. And so in your life right now, people understand when you sit down and say, this is how we're going to make this happen. We just went to double services. I told you that already. I was amazed. I was amazed. I was amazed at how much planning our team put into that. And then they did mock runs. They set up the parking lot. I mean, everything was planned. And thank God, my daughter will tell you, I don't think we had one hitch. Nothing went wrong. I'm sure it did. But you know what? We recovered and went on well. Number 8, on time is not an option. Now, I wish I could park here for a lot longer than I can, because I'm going to go about 5 minutes longer than I should tonight. But on time is not an option. Always be early. There's nothing that hurts a team more than when somebody's example is that we're waiting on them to get started. Yeah. And so I just want to encourage you. One of the most important things in being a leader and setting an example is being there early. And you have no idea how much this will change your life. Now, I know I'm going to make some of you mad right now, because some of you are just like really, really good, like excel exceedingly well at being late. If you got to be there at 9:30, guess what? You start getting ready at 9:10. And you always think you can get dressed and get better. And so, yeah, nothing's going to go wrong. It's all going to be perfect. And so it so amazes me. You know, you'll get in traffic, and there's always one dude on his horn because he's 20 minutes late when he should have started. I saw somebody at the airline counter the other day yelling because the plane left, because they went without him. But they were like a half hour late. See, I got this deal worked out with Delta. If they're ready to go and I'm not there, they can leave without me. And so in your life, on time, I just want to tell you, when a leader tends to continually be late, their employees start matching their best effort of example. I just encourage you. Number 9, attention to detail matters more than you can know. Pay attention. If your wife gets a haircut, pay attention. If she does her eyes different than they were the day before, pay attention. I just went in really bad territory right there. But I just want to tell you, the little things matter. Big doors swing on little hinges. And some of you right now, listen to me, you need to hear this scripture. He who is faithful in the little, God will elevate him to much. But some of us are going, well, when I get to much, then I'm going to be faithful. No, you won't. No, you won't. It's like saying, oh, I'll be a giver when I get a lot of money. No, you won't. No, you won't. I just want to encourage you. Details matter. Pay attention. Number 10, and I close. Thanks for letting me spend some time with you. Always look for feedback. And remind people this is where we came from. Every now and when new people come to the church, we take them into the smaller building where we met and pack people in. And while we were having church, they would be cooking food. Oh, it was just hard to focus on Jesus. You could smell those burritos in there and you'd be going, oh, Jesus, thank you for burritos. I mean, it was just crazy. But here's what I can tell you. It's always important. And right now, on our team, we are going somewhere. And I don't ever want us to forget the struggle and the blessing and the joy of right now. Someday, people say, I'm going to be happy. No, I think you're going to be about as happy as you want to be. And in your life right now, I ask you to ask for feedback. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we maintaining on our values? We have behaviors, and when we look at these behaviors, we're always checking on it. Am I taking it personal? Am I making it better? Am I staying fit? It's important in your example. And leaders, I can tell you right now, the best way to get employees and get people around you to give feedback, honestly, is for you being open for feedback. Wow. My wife will tell you every time I speak, if she's in the room, I walk down and I look at her. I don't need somebody to tell me I'm great. I know that.
Preach, PT.
Humility is my greatest quality. No, I'm joking, but here's what I can tell you. I always look at her and go, was I clear? Was I clear? Anybody besides me ever have a conversation with somebody and they heard something completely different? Yes. Was I clear? Example. Now, I want you to think tonight, for the next little bit, about someone in your life that was an example that changed your life. It wasn't their words. It was their actions. It was how they lived. It was how they walked. It's how they talked. It's how they made you feel. By the way, people very rarely remember what you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Right. Instead of trying to catch people around you doing something wrong, would you lead an example of really a campaign of trying to find out and catch people doing something right? Yeah. And then telling the world about it. Hey, you're more powerful than you know. There's only two things you can give people in life. Number one is an example. Number two is an opportunity. In your life right now, where could you move forwards in your life, in your income, get a promotion, do better, change the world by just increasing your example? One last note I want to tell you for those of you that have children. It's more caught than it is taught. Yes. Live it, lead it, and leave it. We're going to change the earth together, man. I love you guys. I'll see you next month. Share this with 10 friends. Will you do me a favor? You get these, and the recordings are up on YouTube. Will you just grab those and start sending them to your friends and say, will you join me? Or I think this would be an encouragement to you today. I think this would be something that would add value to you. You have no idea how many of your friends right now need what you just heard. So be a sharer of the good news. Charge, it's your moment. Boom.